Tonight on the 31 Nights of Halloween Horror, being an advice columnist can be hard, especially when you get threatening letters. However, when people in your self-help group start being murdered, perhaps it's a little more problematic than just a few letters. Tonight's movie, Schizoid.
Hello everybody and welcome back to another episode of the 31 Nights of Halloween Horror! Yes! The year filled with cuts, guts, and the lovely sluts. Anyways, tonight, I thought, hey, you know what? We reviewed the movie X-Ray, right? So let's do the second part of the double feature that I got here on the 4K Blu-rays, and that second part is the movie Schizoid. Schizoid. So what is Schizoid about? Well, it's about a woman who writes an advice column, and lately she's been getting some very threatening letters from an unknown, I don't know if you even would consider that an admirer, but anyways, someone who knows about her in her advice column anyways is sending threatening letters, and she just also happens to be part of a sort of support group run by a psychiatrist or a psychologist, I guess it's a psychiatrist. Anyways, and apparently when members of that group start dying, she starts to suspect that maybe it's linked with these threatening letters. And so, of course, she's going to go to the police. But are the police going to be able to help her out? I don't know. You're going to have to watch the movie to find out if the rest of the crew gets picked off and maybe she ends up making headlines for the wrong reasons. So, let's get into the scores, shall we? Violence and gore. I am going to give this one a 2 out of 5. Look, this is a movie that uses scissors as the kind of attack weapon, and honestly, this is scissors are kind of a common sort of killing device, especially in the Giallo genre, and this is sort of what we could consider an American Giallo-esque movie, but because of that, you know, it's not very bloody, it's not very gory. I mean, yes, there are some stabby moments and maybe even a little gunplay here and there, but overall, it's below average on the violence and gore scale, so I'm just going to give it a 2 out of 5. Moving on to shock value, 1 out of 5, and honestly, the shock value of this movie is kind of like, it's got Klaus Kinski in it, which honestly, like, in the movies, you know, he's got presence and he's, you know, really good, but I also heard that he's just kind of like a really horrible actor to work with. In fact, that some people probably wanted him to be killed during filming of certain movie that I won't talk about at the moment. Anyways, crawl space. Oh, I'm sorry. Don't know where that came from. Anyways, so the only shocking moment of this movie is that there's this really awkward scene with his daughter, and she's naked going into the shower, and he's talking to her and just looking, and she's looking, and I don't know, and there just seemed like maybe there's this little underlining, you know, sort of, it's not an Oedipus complex, because, you know, it's not a son-mother thing. It's more of a daughter-father thing. Like, maybe she's got a little bit of the Electra complex, I think is the phrase for it. Anyways, this is really the only shocking thing. There's 1 out of 5. I gave it away. Oh, shit. I didn't mean to. Anyways, moving on to plot, I'm going to give this a 3 out of 5. This is it feels very Giallo-esque. It has this kind of just sort of red herring whodunit, all these different kind of intersecting I don't know, I'm not saying storylines, but things, people in this movie with their agendas. Like, you have basically Klaus Kinski and the woman are having an affair. She's estranged, I think maybe even divorced. I'd have to really remember whether they're divorced or just separated, because she works in the same newspaper as her husband or ex-husband at the time, and he seems to be not, like, really not into the actual breakup. And of course the daughter is angry at Klaus Kinski's character because, his wife died, her mother died, and now it's like, oh, she's a replacement. You have some of the creepy people who are in that sort of that circle, that self-help circle, that, were kind of like skeezy here and there. And honestly, I think like one of them is like Christopher Lloyd, who plays like a janitor type character, and he really nails this sort of creepy, sort of rapey guy. I'm just gonna give it a 3 out of 5. I think it does a very good job of keeping you on your toes, and making you think, okay, who's done it? Who's this? Who's behind it all? And there is some misdirection in this movie, and some things may not actually be related to other things, and so I think that really gives it a fresh feel to it. So 3 out of 5. Acting, I'm going to give it a 3 out of 5 also. Like I said, Klaus Kinski just is a commanding presence, even though he may be a bit of a jerk in real life, and maybe that's me being very nice at this point. But anyways, I think solid performance. Definitely above average for horror fare. I'm giving it a solid 3 out of 5. Nothing really to just kind of go, oh my god, this is, maybe that one lady with the hot tub. Maybe she's a little. But anyways, moving on. 3 out of 5 acting. Going on to Nudity, and I am going to give this a 3 out of 5. Also, the scene that I talked about, of course, it kind of lingers a little bit, but there's also apparently there is one of these self-help group is a stripper, or exotic dancer, as you will, and she happens to be having an affair with someone else associated with the group. And anyways, so you got that. You got some sex scenes between Klaus Kinski and our main protagonist, and so yeah, it's a decent amount. 3 out of 5. Moving on to enjoyment factor, it's also going to be a 3 out of 5. Like, I would want it to be a little bit more violent, a little bit more bloody. After all, scissors can be quite frightening, and so yeah, some of it a little underwhelming in the gore department for my taste. I mean, but I did enjoy the story. I did enjoy the characters. I liked the subterfuge and the trickeration. And so overall, very fun, very nice Giallo, proto-Giallo, someone might call, proto-slasher Giallo, Giallo-slash. Anyways, whatever it is, it's good. I like it. So 3 out of 5. Not as weird and strange as, let's say, X-Ray, but still, it has a good atmosphere to it, and it keeps you on your toes. So 3 out of 5. My overall impression is a 3 out of 5. Solidly made movie, solidly acted. The plot is reasoned enough and doesn't fall into the normal Giallo trope of being like really convoluted and confusing, and the ending just coming out of left field and things like that. So which can actually add to the experience, but sometimes it can just make you go, So 3 out of 5 overall impression, and that averages out to a solid 2.6 out of 5. So there you have it, Schizoid. Tell me, what did you think? Did you like it? Did you dislike it? Leave a comment in the comment section below. You agree with me? Disagree with me? What do you think about Klaus Kinski? I don't know. Anyways, that is it for tonight's episode of the 31 Nights of Halloween Horror. And once again, I'd like to say, you know, I'm trying to sort of abbreviate these reviews to try not to get into like the 20-minute range. Still try to be as in-depth as I can, but also buttoning it up a little bit, and also you know, not describing the entire movie in the sort of summary section at the beginning. I should really ask you guys this at the beginning of my reviews, because shit, no one's here. Everyone's checked out by now. But anyway, so once again, anyone who's laughed, thank you for watching another episode of the 31 Nights of Halloween Horror. And remember, kids, it's not going to make sense because it's the email age. No one sends letters anymore. So, I mean, it's just, you know, if you're going to get in a relationship and that person has kids, you know, maybe give the kid and the person some space, especially if they've got issues, because things could kind of turn out a little sideways, if you know what I mean. Anyways, till then there, stay scary, internet.